Hello, chat. Welcome to the stream. Hi, everybody. What's up, Sato? Hi, Lirio. What's up, Chuck? Chuck. Always good to see you here at Twitch. Very loyal to the Twitch platform. Welcome all to the stream. How are you all today? Kamusta ang Tuesday? And is everybody getting better sleep now? Are we still having trouble sleeping? What's the situation today, chat? How are you all doing today? We'll do the steak tomorrow. No one was going to be able to receive it today. What is sleep? I'll eat the steak tomorrow, I promise. Today is just busy. What's up, Mikey? Ikaw ba, JR, na-try mo yung steak? Or you're also waiting to see? Yun tayo eh. What's up, LJ? Welcome to the stream. Rat bite? Why'd you get bitten by rats, Romeo? That sucks, bro. For real though? Rat bite? Aren't you supposed to get rabies shots for that? High stakes Wednesday? Pwede. Ooh, I haven't seen it. Let's check out the main GC. Give me a second here. Daya talaga. This is unfair, man. This is unfair. In this economy, you're gonna do steak and salmon and flex it in front of all of us? Iba ka, JR. But, of course, we're just jealous. I know I am. Damn. What's this? Beans? Ito ba ay beans? We have mashed potato. What is money? Only paper. Might as well turn it to steak, right? One sec. Steak sauce. Dude, I don't know why I imagined it would be beans. Pero, trip ko talaga ng beans eh. I love beans, chat. Like, it's the one thing na alam kong hindi gusto ng lahat. What's steak rock sauce? Steak rock sauce? What's roe? Roe? Is that how you read it? Equal parts butter and flour with pan drippings, beef stock, and aromatics like shallots. Damn, bro. Roux? Steak roux. Got it. Roux. It's basically gravy. Drippings. Yeah. Thank you for that, Romeo. Roux. Alam mo social eh, no? If masyadong maraming silent letters. Like there's literally 4 letters, but you could pronounce it with do. So you know how it becomes extra alta dahil you're not even pronouncing half of those letters. Hi, Orasyon. Welcome. No, what do you mean out of nowhere? You're welcome here. Chat, please, let's welcome Orasyon Sean Angelo Ferrer. Let's go. What's up? Oh, by the way, if gusto mo palitan yung username mo, you can do so on your profile page. Sean, para hindi ganyan kahaba yung username mo. What's up, Ron? It seems like late ka na natutulog lately, ah. Parang napapansin ko yung 4 to 5 hours of sleep mo a night. Nakikita ko na. Usually, Ron, you're asleep by 10. Yeah, Rue. Rocks. Today was better for me, by the way. In case you were wondering, chat. I know I've been having shitty days lately. But today, I was able to sleep a lot. And it was deep sleep. Yung tipong tuloy-tuloy. Yung paggising ko, yung nagising na ako ng onte, parang 2 minutes na lang alarm ko na. Alam mo yung ganun na feeling na naturally kang nagising, and I was also able to work out. Chat, I'm not gonna flex, but I'm not the type to flex, but I will flex this. I will flex this. Check it out. I am 200 years old, and yet I am still pulling the heaviest weight I've ever pulled in my life. Look at that, chat. Look at that. Still pulling. Look at that. Just a belt, baby. Just a belt. What's the weight? I don't know. It's 88 per side. 88.25 per side kilos. So I'm very proud because many years ago I thought my strength would peak maybe late 20s, but I'm just happy to find out that I'm injury free and I'm still able to move that much weight. So, that's my flex for today, chat. That's why I feel extra happy and extra hype kasi nakapagbuhat, and I don't know, man, just a lot of energy today. Yeah, anymore, right? Pero sanay na rin ako bien na nagigising sa alarm. I feel like all my life I've woken to an alarm. At least since college, since I needed to, I've woken up to an alarm. I don't remember the last time na di ako nag-alarm. No, I don't know what you mean, JR. What do you mean? Yeah, Romeo. Rue. Now, I mean, it does put a good touch to it, right? Lalo na kung tulad ko, di ko alam yung ibig sabihin ko, ano ibig sabihin ng Rue. Pag sinabi Rue, it's a conversation starter. Rue. Lord of the Flies. Oh. And it will be showing this May. You know what I heard? Project Hail Mary. Sobrang ganda rin ng Project Hail Mary. Hey, SWG. Come over to YouTube. We will raise your self-esteem. Come on, SWG. Oh, damn. Oh, damn, JR. Lord of the Flies. Lord of the Flies movie. Was it aired? There you go. 1990. How well did it do all those years ago? 55%, but I suppose it should be better. There you go. Lord of the Flies. Can't post that for too long. Baka mapagalitan ng TikTok. Omelette du fromage. Yeah, have you heard the Malolos Convention menu by Ambeth Ocampo? Chad, this is very infamous. Look at this. This is so cool because Ambeth Ocampo. So, you know our first... Ilan na ba ang Constitution ng Philippines? I'm not sure if you know this, pero natutunan ko to from Sir Ambeth when I was studying history and siya yung professor ko all the way back in college, which was about 200 years ago. How many constitutions? Like, Philippines. Like, pang ilang version na to? Because this is the 1987 Constitution. But how many constitutions have we made? I may be asking the wrong question. Malolos. There you go. The Constitution of the then first Republic was never fully implemented. Anim na ang natin, constitutions. (1987). There you go, right? Okay, so anim na. Okay, so in case you did not know, the very first constitution, at least recognized by historians and acknowledged by our history books, is the 1899 Malolos Constitution. This one, right here. The first was the constitution of the first Philippine Republic, and it was done in Malolos. Okay? Now, in the Malolos Convention, if that's what you call it, convention. Okay, maybe it's not called the Malolos Convention. Okay, but in the Malolos Convention, let's just say Malolos convention, they had an exquisite menu. And it was this one. Ambeth Ocampo wrote about it. And if you look here, chat, it's in really interesting language. In fact, there are even two menus. We can read about it in a bit. Pero kung hindi ako nagkakamali, just like what Romeo said, kung gusto mong maging social yung food mo, just change its name a bit. And it will sound completely different. Now, Ambeth Ocampo wrote about it. And let's see. Malolos convention. The Malolos menu. Here we go. No, it's not this one. He talks about it and basically says na yung Malolos convention na menu, the food, yung mga social na food dito, are literally just our basic food, just repackaged to have different names. I'm just trying to find out kung nasaan yun. Uy! Chat, Barnes with the 5 gifted! What the heck? W's in the chat! W's in the chat. Okay, here you go. So, Ambeth Ocampo wrote about it all the way back in 2021. I first heard about it again when I was under his class, learning as an undergraduate. And so, look at this, chat. The reconstructions of the Malolos banquet led to many questions regarding the actual food, how this was sourced, cooked, and served. All the chefs had to chew on was a mere list of the dishes in French with no explanation. There was speculation that the founding fathers tried to impress. I mean, naturally. It's the first attempt at having a constitution and unifying the entire country under one rule of law. So naturally, kailangan, di ba? Kailangan mag-max aura farm yung mga leaders natin, mga founding fathers natin. And so, for example, the abatis de poulet à la Tagal, which is, where is that here? Police at la Tagal. Where is that here? Hinahanap ko. Anyway, let's look for it later. For example, the abati de poulet à Tagal is could have been nothing more than a glorified adobong manok made special with sauce thickened with ground atay. And the palate tickled by chewy balunbunan, gizzard, which is chicken gizzard. So chicken giblets cooked Tagalog style. Abatis de poulet à la Tagal. Abatis de poulet à la Tagal. I found it. There you go. I found it, chat. Here you go. I found it. Sa menu ng Malolos Convention, abati de poulet à la Tagal could have just been chicken adobo. And then meron pa dito. The coquilles, the crabs might have been either relleno or stuffed crab or simpleng tortang alimango. You can find that over here. Coquille de crabs. There you go. Rellenong crab. Diba? So, I mean, these are all, of course, interpretations of what the menu could have been kasi walang description. Right? Like, it's a playful take and rather, it's a playful, interesting take on what this could have been. Chefs were puzzled by the absence of soup in this elaborate feast. The answer to that question lay in the Museo de Cagayan de Oro in Xavier University, which has what might be the only extant copy of the original Malolos menu. Since I knew the Malolos menu by heart, I was surprised at the version of the menu in CDO because it had a completely different set of food except for coffee and tea at the end, and the wines and champagne. I wouldn't be surprised if the current auction prices will lure a breakfast menu out of hiding one day. So I really found this very interesting. And apparently, dalawang klase ang menu. One is yung nakuha from Cagayan de Oro, which is probably the one on the right. I may not know. But either way, chat, if you want to make your food sound fancy, change it to a different language, in short. Yeah. Galing, no? Like, again, it's a cool interpretation. We don't know for sure. It's just Ambeth and Sir Ambeth and all his knowledge of history. Like it's an interpretation, but it's an interpretation that holds water dahil very respected historian si Ambeth Ocampo. Like Philippine historian, right? And even evolved to have Sealy. What is this? Parang quick translated to orange egg waffles. Or egg fritters. Anyway, just a side note here, chat. Naalala ko lang kasi nung sinabi, pinag-usapan. All of this from JR's Roux and which is also just gravy and Romeo's omelette. Anyway, before we completely move on, chat, thank you, Barnes. Just wanna say thanks to Barnes for making sure our members continue to stay above 100. Memberships help the stream. Memberships fund this thing that we're doing. Yeah, if you do the math, you're gonna find out just how much I earn from memberships. And it's no secret, 70% lang ang naiuwi ko dito, 30% kinakain ng YouTube. And on top of that, kung ano man yung 70% ko, nagkakaroon pa ng conversion fees. Because I get paid in dollars, converted into pesos by BPI. So I get my money in BPI. So technically, I get about a little over 60% of whatever that amount down there is. So you can do the math, chat. Just saying that nakakatulong talaga sa stream natin yung pagiging member. So I appreciate it. And thank you, Barnes. If di pa kayo member, please consider becoming one. No, not 50. Maganda ang cut ng YouTube in the sense na 70-30. 70% goes to the creator, 30% ang commission ng YouTube. But there is, again, a service fee or conversion fee by YouTube because they convert the dollars into pesos when they deposit it into a local bank here in the Philippines. Housewarming gift registry. Ano ang top 5 items mo? Ooh! Is this because we're moving, Ron? Sige. I can dream, right? I can dream. Let me dream for a bit, chat. Top 5 items for a housewarming. Okay, gusto ko ng 3-month supply ng dishwashing liquid. Kasabay na rin nun, pahingi na rin ng 3-month supply ng Scrub Daddy. Isang walis tambo, backup lang in case malaspag na yung current walis tambo namin na 1 year na. I would also like... Okay, this one is a little bit expensive, chat. I would like to have a supply of coconut water. Maybe a 3-month supply of coconut water. That's about 16 liters of coconut water for 3 months. Okay, and that's 4 items, right? One last. Pag housewarming gift, siguro induction cooker. So, dishwashing soap, Scrub Daddy, walis tambo, coconut water, and induction cooker. Kasi we managed to live our 1 year here in our condo with just an air fryer and an instant pot, like an Instapot. So big W's to Ali Ors for making that work because chat, where we get to eat, despite the limited amount of cookware. Let's go. JR, I'm not sure if nabuta mo, pero nagpa-raffle kami ng Edifier speaker at one point. Kiko Berzaga? No. I didn't know na yun yung context nun. Na he admitted to corruption? I saw that here. No, not this one. No, parang podcast yun, di ba? I saw that here. Pero hindi ko pinansin kasi akala ko it was a nothing burger. This one. This one.
Senators? Bakit senators?
Wait lang! Hindi ba tapos yung punchline? What if may mga male senators na may mga asawa married, pero meron palang boyfriend? Meron palang boy toy. Sabihin niya sa boy toy niya, takbo kang mayor, takbo kang councilor.
Meron ka bang alam?
Pa din niya.
Meron ka bang alam?
I invoke my right. Self-incrimination.
Si Tito Mon mukhang
Thank you, Ron.
pangalanan na naman eh. Yayarihin na naman eh.
There are at least 5.
5?
Sabi nun,
It's from... yun. Nahanap ko na. Nahanap ko na.
yes, pero ako kasi ang concern ko for you, Kong Kiko, lahat ng mga ibabato mo, ibabalik sa family mo. Lahat ng binabato mo, babalik sa family mo.
I mean, that's fine.
Then you admit that
If
your
I'm-
family,
If I'm
your
corrupt,
political
then I
dynasty.
deserve to be in prison as well. But I'm going down with everyone else in the National
Sabi mo kay
Unity
Jessica
Party.
Soho, tinanong ka ni Jessica Soho,
Ooh, check out the body language. Yung biglang kamot nung batok.
malinis ka ba? Kong Kiko, ang sabi mo, wala
will
pa akong
see.
kaso. Hindi, sabi mo wala pa akong kaso. A true innocent person would have said, yes, malinis ako. Ako, tanong mo ko, Attorney Clint, sa barangay, malinis ba ako? Yes! Wala kaming SOP dun.
Yes, but like everyone you ask, kung tatanungin mo si
So,
Martin
malinis ka ba? No, malinis ka
Tatanungin
ba?
mo si Martin Romualdez kung malinis siya, anong sasabihin niya? Yes, but we all know he's not clean.
No, but your
We all
answer is
know
different.
He's corrupt.
But your answer is different eh.
Ooh. Chat, who's the one talking? What's his name again?
Malinis ako. Ako, tanong mo ko, Attorney. So, hindi, sabi, yes. A true innocent person would have said, yes, malinis ako. Ako, tanong mo ko, Attorney Clint, sa barangay,
Who this guy, chat? Attorney Cleanse? Attorney Clint? Si Jesus Falsisto? That's Jesus Falsis. I only know him. That's him. Yeah, I saw it, chat. Like we're gonna be talking about him. I read a thread tayo about his post. What? I never bothered to look at his profile picture. I just always read this name. What?
malinis ba ako? Yes! Wala kaming SOP dun.
Yes, but like everyone you ask, kung tatanungin mo si
So,
Martin
malinis
Romualdez.
ka ba? No, malinis ka
Tatanungin
ba?
mo si Martin Romualdez kung malinis siya, anong sasabihin niya? Yes, but we all know he's not clean.
No, but your
We all
answer is
know
different.
He's corrupt.
But your answer is different eh. Kay Jessica So, you didn't deny. You didn't say malinis ka. I'm asking you again now, malinis ka ba?
We will see.
Nung counselor ka? Nung bukal ka? At ngayong congressman ka, malinis ka ba?
We will see regarding that because clean and perfectly legal are both completely separate things. There are people who can act within the bounds of the law that can also be at the same time corrupt. And there are people who are good.
In other
So
words,
you mean-
that can
malinis.
be
So you
imprisoned
mean you
for...
accept money but legally? Parang Marcoleta.
Yo! That is nuts. That is nuts. Who you talking about, Emoy? Sino to, Emoy? Yung profile pic na ginamit niya 25 years ago pa? Wow! Na-corner nga siya! I mean, like, he's lawyering. Attorney siya, no? Sabi niyo, chat? I mean, am I right? He's an attorney, right? Chat, he got lawyered. Like, pansin mo yung, ano niya, yung atake. He's pressing. Ganun- like he wants you to He wants you to stumble with your words. Oh my God. Oh my God. Ang galing. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, okay, at the same time, Romeo has a fair take here. Na technically speaking, no one's clean because it's hard to define what clean means. Right? It's hard to define what clean means, especially if there are so many things that are built into the system. Diba? Maraming nangyayari sa sistema ng gobyerno that aren't exactly ethical, but you have to live with it anyway. You know what I mean? So maybe doon nahihirapan sumagot si Kiko, sabay sobrang galing mang press neto ni Falsis, and so nauutal si Kiko. Diba? Yeah, so tinanong niya, malinis ka ba? Malinis ka ba? Malinis ka ba? It's not so much, magnanakaw ka ba? Diba? Iba yun. Kaya siguro si Kiko, you know, if he wants to be truthful about his answers, hindi siguro siya nakakapagbigay ng diretsong sagot kasi alam niya na there are way more things beyond just answering the question of malinis ka ba o hindi. Because technically, politics in the Philippines is inherently dirty. Okay.
I'm not saying that.
No, sinasabi mo hindi ka nagnakaw. Nagnakaw ka, yes or no?
Yun! Ayan na. Ayan na! Chat! Chat! Yung next niyang question, this is getting juicy. Okay, let's watch. I'll shut up now.
If we look at
Magnanakaw legally, parang Marcoleta.
I'm not saying that.
No, sinasabi mo hindi ka nagnakaw. Nagnakaw ka, yes or no?
If we look at
Magnanakaw ka, yes or no?
If we look at South Africa in the apartheid regime that Nelson Mandela was against, he was imprisoned for 27 years regarding that, right? So
It's a simple
from that
question for me.
perspective-
May SOP ka ba? Or nagnakaw ka nung counselor ka ng DASMA?
From that perspective,
Ngayon congressman ka, magnanakaw ka o hindi?
from that perspective, the law can be applied to good people where they can be guilty.
Leading questions, sabi ni Jerry. And then Emoy here, totally against Falsis. Leading questions. What are leading questions? Queries phrased to suggest a particular answer, nudging the respondent toward a specific, often biased response. Ooh, good take. Okay, Jerry here calling it out na leading questions, yung style of questioning ni Falsis. They frequently contain built-in assumptions or key information to elicit a yes or no confirmation, which can reduce the accuracy of surveys or influence testimonies. Okay, that's fair. Wala akong alam gaano about lawyer speak, but this does sound like they are leading questions, pushing Kiko to answer a certain way that doesn't exactly give us a lot of clarity. But if pushed enough, Kiko might end up in a situation where it might be another Jack Nicholson event. You can't handle the truth. Diba? Yung tipong bibigay na lang siya. But generally, the questions seem to be leading questions nga. Okay, this is interesting. Thank you for that, Jewel. I'll consider that. I'm not entirely familiar kung ano ang leading question sa hindi, but by my understanding, very very bare understanding of what a leading question is, it does sound like they are leading questions. Can they be used? I mean, it's efficient, right? It's very very efficient yung paggamit niya, and hopefully like whatever the answer is from Kiko, it's not gonna give a lot of clarity dahil syempre mautal din siya. But I guess because leading questions are designed to pressure people, hopefully lalabas yung katotohanan. Like they'll just crack and then lalabas yung katotohanan. Again, ala Jack Nicholson, Tom Cruise, you want the truth? You want the truth? You can't handle the truth. And then he starts just incriminating himself. So maybe that was it. I don't know. But this is very juicy. Let's continue watching.
Even though they are innocent. And at the same aspect, innocent people can be, guilty people can be claimed as innocent. Like, for example, Martin Romualdez, he was responsible for the flood control issues, yet there's no case
That's a
against him.
complicated answer for a very simple question. Naging magnanakaw ka ba ever?
Asking someone whether or not they have stolen is not a simple question because stealing and theft in politics is already a very
It's
complicated
a simple
aspect.
question. Tanong mo ko, Tito Mon, may ninakaw ba ako sa barangay na funds
Wala ka
namin?
naman mananakaw sa kagawad eh.
Hindi!
Ask
Okay, fine. Like, it's like, okay, fine. He reduced the question para maging bare bones, no? Ni-reduce niya, like, okay, I get you, Romeo. I get you, JR. Ginawa niyang bare bones yung tanong niya. Simple lang, nagnakaw ka na ba ever or hindi?
where they can be guilty even though they are innocent. And at the same aspect, innocent people can be guilty people can be claimed as innocent. Like for example, Martin Romualdez, he was responsible
Again, he strips the question of any complications.
for the flood control issues, yet there's no case
That's a
against him.
complicated answer for a very simple question. Naging magnanakaw ka ba ever?
Asking someone whether or not they have stolen is not a simple question because stealing and theft in politics is already a very
It's
complicated
a simple
aspect.
question. Tanong mo ko, Tito Mon, may ninakaw ba ako sa barangay na funds
Wala ka
namin?
naman mananakaw sa kagawad eh.
Hindi! May SOP! May extortion sa iba! Sa ibang barangay may SOP!
Attorney Palsis, may contractor ba sa...
May kapitan tractor!
May kapitan tractor ba sa
barangay
laging
namin.
handa?
Hindi sa laging handa. Sa buong QC meron. Tsaka yung
Yo. Yeah. I see it now. Okay. So after considering both sides, I think you're right. But let's see. Let's look at more examples of leading questions. Just to have a better answer. The use of leading questions in court to elicit testimony is restricted in order to reduce the ability of the examiner to direct or influence the evidence presented. Depending on the circumstances, leading questions can be objectionable or proper. Okay, let's ask ChatGPT. Okay, let's make this easy. Give me examples. Give me simple examples of leading questions which are not allowed to be used in court. Specifically on the topic of politics. There you go. Tingnan natin. The mayor took bribes from contractors, didn't he? Suggests both the act and the expected answer. You saw the senator accept legal money, correct? Assumes the event already happened. Pwede. Like, these are all yes or no questions, chat. Look at this. This is a yes or no, very simple question. The president clearly mishandled the crisis, right? Embeds an opinion as fact. The policy was a complete failure, wasn't it? The witness to agree with the conclusion. How about this? Okay, let's really dial this one in. Is this a leading question? Are these examples of leading questions? Have you ever stolen money from public funds? Ano yung mga tanong? Ano pa yung isa? Chat, what are the questions? Given a heated moment during questioning, are these examples of leading questions? Have you ever stolen money from public funds? Ano pa yung mga tanong? Balikan natin to.
Your answer is
he's
different.
corrupt.
But your answer is different. Yes. Hindi, sabi mo wala pa akong kaso. A true innocent person would have said, yes, malinis ako. Ako, tanong mo ko, Attorney Clint, sa barangay, malinis ba ako? Yes. Wala kaming SOP dun.
Yes, but like everyone you ask, kung tatanungin mo si
So,
Martin
malinis ka ba?
Are you clean?
No. Malinis ka
Tatanungin mo
ba?
si Martin
Are you clean? Okay, there you go. Are you clean? Are you clean? Okay, eto na. Are you corrupt? short answer, yes, but with nuance. And one of them is worse than the others. Let's break them down carefully like a trial lawyer would. Have you ever stolen money from public funds? Verdict, borderline leading. It introduces a specific allegation the witness hasn't yet established. But structurally, it's framed as an open yes or no about past conduct, not strongly suggesting a preferred answer. Courts often allow questions like this if they're foundational or relevant, but a cautious judge might still object if it feels like it's assuming facts not yet in evidence. Are you clean? Problematic, but not strictly leading in the classic sense. It doesn't embed a specific fact, but it's vague, ambiguous, and argumentative. Clean isn't a legally precise. Clean of what? Corruption, crime, ethics? Are you corrupt? Verdict, improper, not just leading. This is essentially asking the witness to label themselves with a legal moral conclusion. It doesn't seek facts, it seeks self-characterization. I don't know, chat. I don't know. This is chat. This is attorney Chat GPT, and Chat GPT is basically saying these are leading questions. There you go, chat. There you go. So it's cool because we get to see Kiko get pressured into giving an answer. But now with if we put this under the lens of leading questions ba yung tinanong ni Falsis, it seems like they are. Somewhat leading, argumentative plus calls for conclusion, vague or argumentative. Oh my god. If you want to oh my gosh, yeah. Yeah, they do sound leading, huh? What's up, Alex? Okay. It you know, it's like it makes sense, right? It sounds like the question is simple, yes or no. Okay, yeah, let's do it. Yeah, I want to feed it. Anybody have the link? Attorney Falsis. Yeah, and there you go, Barzaga. Tito Mon. There you go. Okay, chat. There has to be highlights, right? There has to be highlights here.
On Kong Barsaga, it was their...
If you get the 2/3 vote, you can suspend or expel the congressman.
Why? Kasi si Duterte ang presidente.
I mean, as long as your body... So,
He cannot.
So we'll feed the specific timestamp to
Na part ng
ChatGPT. Yun yung gagawin
is
natin.
Escudero by my principles. Anyway.
Ikaw walang tutulong.
Sino yung
I could give BB post ni Kong
Trying to look for it.
the 2025
Kiko.
No, I mean,
Walang
I am...
It has to be the specific timestamp, chat, para mas mabasa ng maayos ni ChatGPT. Come on, man.
Sarah Duterte, she's just
Susuportahan
million. Pag minat mo, that's the allegations. Huwag siya
have massive backlash.
100% foolproof of a person.
Oh,
Where is it?
That's not Sarah.
Chat, how can we find this better? Where are the comments? Where are the comments? Like, I really wanna get to the bottom of this. Where is that video even? So, it's a segment where puno pa yung mga tubig nila. Nahanap na ni JR, 4738. Ay, 47.
but yung original na gagamitin namin is yung from...
Pero ako kasi ang concern ko for you, Kong Kiko, lahat ng mga ibabato mo, malinis ka ba? At Kong Kiko, ang sabi mo, Soho, tinanong ka ni Jessica Soho, malinis ka ba? Kong Kiko, ang sabi mo, yes. Wala kaming SOP doon.
Yes, but like everyone you ask, kung
Okay, 47:38 until...
Kay Jessica Soho, malinis ka ba?
we will
But legally, para sir, no?
47:38 until...
from that perspective, innocent, and at the same aspect, innocent people can be guilty people can be claimed as innocent. Asking someone in fault,
Kung traktor.
Laging handa. May kapitan truck. Hanggang may SOP. Hindi. May SOP. May extortion. It's a simple question. Tanong mo ako.
Okay, 49:48. 49:48. Okay? Let's go back to ChatGPT. Okay, I need a more nuanced answer, but still keep it simple. I don't want to read a wall of text. In this YouTube video, two people, Attorney Falsis and Kiko, what's his name? Kiko Barzaga. Kiko Barzaga are in a heated conversation. I need to know if Attorney Falsis's line of questioning at 47 to 49 to 48 falls under the category of leading questions. Okay. Think like a world-class lawyer with expertise in Philippine law and Philippine politics. I need a more nuanced answer, but still keep it simple. I don't want to read a wall of text. In this YouTube video, this one, balik tayo dito. In this YouTube video, two people, Attorney Falsis and Kiko Barzaga, are in a heated argument. I need to know if Attorney Falsis' line of questioning at 47 to 38, blah, 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 falls under the category of leading questions. And then, we'll set it to 50-36. Umabot to 50-36. Okay. And then, let's set it to thinking. Let's see kung ano yung magiging sagot. Let's go! Let's go! Come on, baby! What nearby up? This is lame. We'll use Gemini instead. Gemini is smarter when assessing YouTube videos. Teka, Gemini tayo. Let's do Gemini chat. The problem with my Gemini is I use Gemini for my private life. There. Okay, here. There you go. Oh no! Di ko nalagay into thinking. Wait. Cancel. And then gawin nating thinking. Deep research. Tama diba? Deep research. Deep research if you want it to be extra smart. Okay, here we go. Tinanong ko na rin ang Gemini. Okay? There you go. Okay. Here we go. Okay, thought for 23 seconds. Yes, in substance, a lot of that... Ito, sagot ni ChatGPT to, thinking ni ChatGPT when we prompted it properly already. Yes, in substance, a lot of that line of questioning is leading, though some parts go beyond leading and become argumentative or accusatory. Under Philippine Rule 132, a leading question is one that suggests the answer the examiner wants, and it is generally not allowed on direct examination, except for recognized exceptions. Leading questions are allowed on cross-examination. Based on the publicly indexed snippets from the video and reposts, Falsis's questioning include framing like, "Are you saying your dad was bribed?" And "Anong pinagsasabi mong plano?" Those are not neutral, open-ended questions. They already push the witness toward a specific factual or defensive answer. That makes them leading in a courtroom sense. Nuance is this: some of the lines are more than leading. A question like, "Are you corrupt?" would not only be leading, but also argumentative, calling for a conclusion. So if you are asking for a lawyer's label, the best answer is yes, many of the questions are leading. A few are even more objectionable than leading. There you go, chat. Yun yung sagot ni ChatGPT. And Gemini, what's this? Ready in a few minutes? Okay. I know, but I think we also want to I know it's only a podcast, but it's almost like it's almost like it's like how do I explain this? I know it's only a podcast, but at the same time, we have a lawyer on board who would know better how to question or ask for answers. Diba? Okay, here we go. Okay, start research. Okay, we'll go back to this later, but for now, I think this is getting very interesting. Yung style of questioning ni Falsis pagdating sa pod, it does sound like what one of chat in TikTok said earlier. It does sound like it's leading. Nawala na. But anyway, yeah. Start research. Wow. Holy. Parang debate, may mediator, tapos court of public opinion na yung nagde-decide. Okay, come on, man. Gemini, pakibigay ang sagot. Pink Areola, what a name, bro. Like I said, yeah, I don't see why we can't apply. I don't see why we can't apply calling out fallacious questioning porket hindi siya court of law. Diba? That's what I think. Parang I feel like all the more even if it's just a regular show na pwede natin siyang gamitin just to really scrutinize the moment. Like I get like it's informal, mas casual lang yung situation, but I feel like if we can apply, like I mean obviously the yung style of questioning ni Falsis is very lawyer-like already sa approach niya. The pressuring, right? It's very lawyer-like already. So I think it would only be fair kung i-qualify natin siya under the same standards. Okay? And I don't know, why would we apply logical fallacies in everyday conversations if they are just everyday conversations? Because it's a good way to study how people defend themselves, right? Whether intentionally or not. So I think it's a fair thing to do. I think it's a fair thing to do na ginagawa natin to and kahit na podcast lang siya. Again, chat, I'm trying my best to be as objective as possible. Okay. Well, we'll let this load some more. For now, let's go to Falsis. Rafi Tulfo could very well be the next president of the Philippines if Leni Robredo opts not to run in 2028. Senator Rafi Tulfo is surging again in the surveys after Mayor Leni Robredo keeps saying she will not run in 2028. I have to say, as early as now, that if Mayor Leni doesn't run, I will support Rafi Tulfo because he is not corrupt and hindi siya baliw. Wow. From Jesus Falsis. That is that a hot take? Is that a hot take? Coming from Jesus Falsis to say na iboboto niya si Raffy Tulfo? Like, is this a situation of choosing between lesser evils? Because who else, right? Who else? Who else will be there? We'll have Tulfo. Maybe Isko. Maybe Isko will be there. Magsusubok ulit si Isko. Lumaban. Hey, Mock. Mock, you just missed it again. Would have been cool to see your thoughts. Yeah, I feel like Isko can run will run like a third time. Ewan ko. Sino pa ba ang malalakas ngayon? The mayor in Baguio. What's up, Mock and Val? Glad you guys are home safe. Sino pa ba, chat? Sino yung mayor nung... sino yung ano natin? Hindi head ng NBI eh. Yung gray yung hair na pogi na politician natin. Sino yun yung gray hair, pogi, Cavite yata? Cavite yata siya? Chat, you know this guy. Not Gabgo. Gabgo is running out of hair and his hair isn't even white. Yung kasama ni yung nag-perp walk kay Vitali. Remulla, there you go. See? Remulla. Yeah. Okay. And then what? What's next? Chad, what's next? You can leave this chat. Oh, okay. Start research. I'm on it. Okay, so babalikan pa natin to mamaya. Yeah, Remulla, I feel like will also run for president. These are insane usernames entering the chat right now. Now we have post-nut clarity. My God. Yeah, totoo yun, postings. I think it's not unique to the Philippines. I think everywhere in the world, most countries in the world are often left with a choice of lesser evils. Because oftentimes, the people who are gifted or truly clean, they don't want to go into politics. Because it's a hard job and they're smart enough to know that it will only destroy their lives kung pumasok sila ng politics. Very rare instances na merong correct answer when we vote for somebody into higher powers, right? In Singapore though, it's a totally different story. I think in Singapore, flex talaga. Pagalingan ng flex ng pagkamalinis yung mga tumatakbong presidente ng Singapore. President Singapore track record. Alam ko, there you go. This dude, he was 20. May prime minister ba ang Singapore? Prime minister? Meron ba? Or wala? There you go, this guy. May 15th, it's because I know it's very recent only. Who has served. So he's incumbent, fourth prime minister. I know Lawrence Wong. Track record. Meme. I know this dude is so clean. Fineflex niya that he doesn't even have so much as a parking ticket. Or people were flexing for him na sobrang linis niya. Ganun sa Singapore no? Para ma-elect, palinisan kayo. and how it should be, right? Like, it's not enough that you're clean. You have to be cleaner. So, very good for Singapore. Hopefully one day tayo ganun din. Tagal naman nito. Hindi pa siya tapos. Not done yet? Finalizing. Got it. Finalizing. Toby Chanko. I know Toby Chanko is I know he's very good. He calls out the government. Pero alam ko, I think the Chankos are also a political dynasty. Not that automatic corrupt porket political dynasty, but I feel like there's something inherently sketchy kung ano ka, political dynasty. So I'll hold my reservations on that. Besides, I don't know a lot about politics either. Okay, so going back here, mukhang Raffy Tulfo 2028 ang mangyayari. Talaga bang hindi corrupt? Wala na bang ibang choice? If the survey is true, the options are Raffy Tulfo backs out as presidential candidate, runs as VP of Lenny. Ooh. Lenny backs out. An opposition candidate, Bam Kiko Urisa, runs as VP. Lenny supports the tandem. Outcome, possible Raffy Tulfo as president. Sara Duterte, Raffy Tulfo, and Lenny Robredo run simultaneously. Outcome, possible Sara Duterte president. Oh my God. So the only choice that we have, chat, is either a Raffy-Lenny tandem. Because if it's a Sara, Raffy, Lenny fight, Sara Duterte will win. Based on this random comment on the internet that we don't know how valid it is, but it does make sense, right? If naghati, the Duterte voter base is very, 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 very strong, and despite all the things, despite all the news, bad press that's been going on with the Duterte family, sobrang lakas pa rin talaga ng tatak Duterte. And based on what I'm reading here, the only way na kayang ma-overcome yung Duterte legacy or the Duterte power is if Raffy Tulfo and Lenny work together. Yeah. Here, poison for each. If Raffy's motivation is self-interest, why would he run as VP of the opposition? What's in it for him? The opposition needs to woo him into running as their VP. Additionally, he can comfortably get a seat in the Senate if he decides to run in the Senate instead of VP. The country needs to tolerate the Tulfo dynasty. Not as bad as the Duterte and Marcos, but the Tulfo dynasty is growing. We have Raffy as president, Erwin as senator, Raffy's wife and son in the lower house, and even Ben possibly being a senator. Hindi lang fat dynasty, obese dynasty. And I doubt to genuine care to the people ang dahilan ng may fat or obese dynasty. Sara Duterte's poison is that's it. Possibly worse, unstable, inexperienced. This is someone who threatened to assassinate the sitting president. Yo, chat. We're cooked, man. We're cooked. But hey, a Lenny Tulfo tandem doesn't sound bad. Yeah. I know. Hey, OJ. Tapos ka na ba? Di pa rin tapos to eh. Okay, interestingly enough, we can talk about fuel prices now. Crazy neto. I think hindi pa rin natin nagagrasp yung effects neto sa atin. And I think we are going to begin to grasp everything when it's too late already. I read a headline, and you know that's not saying a lot, but I read the Facebook post about the previous Department of Energy, ex-Department of Energy Secretary. He said something earlier today. The ex-Department of Energy Secretary, Diesel. He said, there you go. Look at this. This is a hot take. Sabi nung Energy Secretary, not pala ex. Sabi niya, it's the ex-DOE chief. Fuel prices won't return to 61 peso level even after Middle East conflict. Basically, ang sinasabi niya, we're fucked. Even if matapos na yung conflict, even if wala na yung oil embargo and that oil production and distribution goes back to normal, it will never return to the 100 peso level, if only because industries will have already been obliterated by then. And to me, if that's true, that's gonna be very chaotic for the Philippines. Former Energy Secretary Petilla said on Tuesday, Filipinos should brace for a prolonged period of high fuel prices despite the possible end of the Middle East conflict. Fearless forecast, there is no more. Huwag na kayong umasang babalik pa ng 61 yan. Diesel will be 100 or a little over 100, and then gasoline is a little under 100 kapag nag-normalize na lahat. Ito yung justification niya. Dahil maraming infrastructure na nasira sa ating mga refineries at mga oil extraction sa Middle East. It will be driven by external factors, including geopolitical tensions with no clear timeline for stabilization. There is no clear end in sight. We should begin adjusting our fuel consumption and overall spending. Fear-mongering? I don't know. But if it's coming from an ex-DOE chief, it holds some truth, right? We're not listening to some random on the internet talking about it. It does sound very scary coming from this dude, right? And it makes sense. Like, there really is no end in sight. Namumove lang nang namumove yung deadline for Iran to open the Strait of Hormuz without a clear ending talaga. And I don't know, it feels like it is getting worse. We just don't know it yet because I feel like just like the government, culture din natin bilang mga Pilipino, we're just reactive, right? Hindi tayo proactive. We don't really look into the future so much. No long-term planning. And that's also because we're only really capable of short-term planning as a culture. So dito ako natatakot. Sometimes I feel like I'm scaring myself too much. Minsan iniisip ko, OA lang ba ako? O talagang we're cooked? Talagang walang mangyayari? Talagang if we don't act now, we will only feel the effects later. I've been saying this since diesel hit 70s. Like kung nag-70s man yung diesel. I think mid-60s. The first price hike, I already called it out on TikTok saying that it will happen. And so far, hindi pa natin ganun karamdam eh. Ang dami ko pa rin nakikitang kotse. And, I mean, ako na isa dun. It's just, I don't know. I'm afraid, chat. It's a lot of anxiety for me. Yun na nga eh. Tama ka, AIDS. We cannot afford, like, it's not that we don't want to be proactive. It's that, one, bilang mga Pilipino, we can only really afford to look into a shorter time frame. Kumbaga, yung pinaka-future-looking natin, siguro hindi nalalagpas ng a few weeks. And then two, it doesn't help na yung kultura ng gobyerno natin, ganun din. Not so much proactive, pero pero reactive. So, I don't know. It's a problem coming from the bottom. It's a problem coming from the top. We need to dial this one in some more para ready tayo for everything. I genuinely thought, actually Drin, yung sinabi mo na maybe sabi ni Drin, 'di ba? Maybe all of this will force the world to find and shift to better sources of energy. I don't think so. I once had that thought nung bagong lockdown pa lang tayo. Fresh COVID. 2020's COVID. I had an insane thought and I can't believe na inisip ko this will be real. Na because of how fragile the situation is, our voter base will finally see the light. na okay, dahil sobrang makikita na natin talaga kung sino yung mga politicians na willing tumulong sa Pilipino, at makikita na natin, matututo na tayong makinig sa mga politicians na matututo na tayong sumuri ng mga politicians or mga taong nasa gobyerno na wala talagang magandang intention para sa atin. Because after all, it's a pandemic. COVID. But that's not exactly what happened. It got worse from there. So I don't think we're gonna get better or we're gonna learn from this as a Filipino country or a Filipino nation, much less on a global level. I think we're just gonna continue making mistakes. I'm a doomer right now. I'm sorry. Medyo doomer ako ngayon. Ayuda law? Levy on net assets, what's this? Iminungkahi ang pagpasa ng Bayanihan 3 law? Oh, what? 2% levy on net assets? Middle class too? By the way, 1% levy on 1 billion pesos is 10 million pesos. People earn 1 billion pesos? Like the middle class? 1 billion ang kinikita? Bro. We're talking about the ultra rich. If you earn 1 billion pesos a year, we're talking about the ultra rich. Levy, you gotta be shared. Yeah, no way, bro. If this is middle class, chat, I'm bottom of the barrel. Yeah, so I'm just scared, man. There's a situation on... Ay, ito pa. Ayuda.
Bukod sa pagbibigay ng tulong sa transport sector at agricultural sector, pinag-aaral na rin ng Senado ang pagbibigay ng ayuda sa minimum wage earners at middle class. Yan ang ulat ni Luisa Erispe.
How far do we go? Are we only going to concentrate on the poorest of the poor? Are we only going to help the transport sector? What about those people earning minimum wage?
Ito ang binigyang diin ni Senator Erwin Tulfo sa pagdinig ng Committee on Social Justice, Welfare at Rural Development ngayong araw. Ayon sa senador, kung nabibigyan ng tulong ang mga nasa sektor ng transportasyon, pati na rin ang magsasaka at mangingisda, paano naman ang mga simpleng manggagawa na hindi na rin sapat ang kinikita dahil sa epekto ng taas presyo ng langis?
Hindi lang po ang transport sector, hindi lang po ang farmers, hindi lang po ang fisher folks. Hindi lang po yung poorest of the poor, yung mga members ng 4Ps, but also these people. Let us not forget, ito na naman po tayo. I mean, I've been reading the newspapers, we're so focused. Tama naman po, tulungan natin, mahirap. But what about the backbone of our
Hey, that's a good initiative. Yung backbone ng economy natin, the middle class who keeps the economy going.
labor force?
Dagdag pa ng senador, baka mamaya umalma ang mga empleyado tulad noong panahon ng COVID-19 pandemic. Mahuli na sila na mabigyan ng tulong.
Yan po naging problema natin ng pandemic.
That is true. The middle class does pay for a lot of the taxes.
Hindi po agad nasikaso sila. Kaya umalma po yung mga ito na, wait, nagtatrabaho kami. Wait, yung pinambibigay nyo na ayuda galing sa buwis po namin, taxes. So let's not forget this.
Kaya naman hinikayat ni Tulfo ang mga ahensya ng gobyerno na magtulong-tulong para pag-aralan kung may sapat bang pondo ang pamahalaan na mabigyan ng tulong kahit ang mga manggagawa ng bansa. Ayon
You know, times like this, no, dito natin nakikita na, shit, what if lahat ng kinurakot na pera, naipon na lang? instead of this.
Sa DSWD, sa ngayon, nakatuon lang sila sa ayuda sa transport groups. Pero pinag-aaralan na rin kung dapat bang palawakin pa sa ibang sektor ang mabibigyan ng financial assistance.
We are acting on crisis, so talagang stopgap measure po na yon, and we are acting as fast as we can to deliver the instructions of the President, and our focus is on the fuel crisis. So ito yung mga transport groups. 100% rest assured, Honorable Chair, the DSWD will deliver as instructed.
May sapat ding pondo para sa 4Ps sakaling tumagal pa ang krisis sa Middle East. Kahit ang Department of Labor and Employment may 1.2 billion na pondo na inilaan para sa programang
Diba? Like, it gets me frustrated all the more na ngayon we're talking about, oh, may funds pa ba tayo? Meron pa ba tayong pwedeng ibigay? Hanggang kailan pa tayo pwede magbigay? I mean, problematic na nga yung ayuda system, di ba? Dahil nga reactive. Pero yun yung problema nila ngayon. May funds pa ba tayo? Ano na mangyayari sa atin? Bro, there's a lot of funds. Kinurakot lang talaga lahat.
bibigay ng financial assistance. Handa rin ang DOLE sakaling
Ang hirap din kasi ng argument na kaltasin yung tax eh. I think it was Lacson who said it. May nakita akong post nila, post about Lacson. Lacson removing VAT billions cost. Lacson. Ping Lacson said it. Tax cuts to... There you go. Lacson said that a suggestion to suspend the VAT, which would double the amount. We could reach over 320 billion if the VAT is also suspended because of the crisis. No! Disable ko na nga lang yung ad blocker natin, chat. There. Look at this. The government stands to lose around 200 billion in revenues with the suspension of the excise on petroleum products. Dito nakalagay, sabi ni Lacson. From excise taxes alone, we reach assuming we reach 2027, impact on foregone revenues would be 200 billion. And then kapag VAT, 320 billion. So like what something's got to give. If we suspend VAT, that's technically 320 billion pesos returned to the like 320 billion that the government doesn't get for their spending. 320 billion remains with the people. But at the same time, you see there could be problems there too, right? Saan kukunin ng gobyerno yung supposed money nila for their job to complete? For projects to do, di ba? Latak lang yan sa bulsa nila. Pero yun na nga yung problema eh. Nasa bulsa na nila. I mean, that's why it's, if you sacrifice one, you're also gonna sacrifice the other. It's, I get it, sure. Pero it's not something that is going to... Sorry ko naglag. Kasi hindi naman maraming funds ng government eh. Easy to say, right? Na end tax muna until we fix corruption. But the government needs to earn money. Like, not all the money that the government earns goes to corruption. There is money that the government actually uses for properly. At kapag tinanggal yun, ma-affect yung government natin.
hawak pa ang kailangan mabigyan ng tulong.
We will be constantly assessing yung situation.
If we pause projects, we're gonna affect employment. Sobrang daming ine-employ ng gobyerno because of projects, especially infrastructure projects. Parang hirap, 'di ba? Like that's how plundered we are by the government. That we're forced in a situation where wala tayong choice kundi sikmurahin na lang lahat. Because we also know, like, if we're smart enough to know that if the government stops receiving funding, even avenues kung saan maayos yung pag-deploy or paggamit ng funds, masisira. And what's that? Exchanging bad for bad also?
Para po makita kung yung lawak po nung magiging epekto nung sa iba't iba pang sektor, because bukod sa tupad at sa livelihood, we also have the adjustment measure programs na pondo that can help establishment na nangangailangan po ng transition fund para po maitawid yung...
I mean, like, if there's anything to take away from this, nakakaasar lang talaga na ang daming perang ninakaw. Because I'm just think about it this way, chat. Suspending the VAT is 320 billion. Let's not forget how many billions were stolen from the DPWH projects alone. Diba? Parang ang liit lang ng 320 billion pala, kasi yung 50 billion doon kaya naman pala mapunta sa isang tao. Like, imagine, I don't know, man. It sucks. Di pa rin ito tapos. Okay, let's move on. Fuel prices as of today. This is true. Look at this. Naglagay na sila ng permanent na 142, chat. For a freaking liter. That to me is an insane amount. I did not think ever na aabot tayo dito. And yet, we are here. 142 for diesel. God. Per liter. Like, just imagine the way we distribute a lot of our produce from the provinces, paano umiikot ang bilihin across the country. Look at that, chat. 154. Dunkin tuloy Petron, 142. Mahal, grabe. Okay. In somewhat lukewarm news, EDSA sidewalks, they're looking better. But of course, there is a call to make them even widened some more. If you look at this at first glance, makita mo na it's the bare minimum for a great walkable sidewalk. But Dizon plans to integrate the bike lane as well, so pedestrian space is halved. Why not just make the whole EDSA 3 lanes so that a fairly sized bike lane and sidewalk can coexist? Mas mahihirapan both yung cyclist tsaka pedestrian if ganito ito buong EDSA. Lalo na dahil hindi pa naman underground yung poste. Photo not mine. I'll take it. I'll take this as a win for now. If this is our bike lane, win na to for now. Medyo may obstacles lang tayo dito, no? Parang, what's going on here? Medyo may onting parkour lang pagdating natin dito. But, I'll take this as a win for now. These look good. These look durable. And Dizon seems to be somebody who is loved by a lot of people online. How's the experience, Romeo? But of course, it could be better. Reducing the car lanes from 4 now to 3. Actually, 5 naman yung lanes natin, di ba? Except the first lane is for PUVs, for the bus, for the city buses and carousel buses. Di ba? Yun ang first lane natin, if I'm not mistaken. Or carousel lang yata. Sorry, city buses are not allowed in the carousel lanes, if I'm not mistaken. But hey, if we reduce the lanes into 3, radical change. For sure. But at the same time, I think in other countries kung saan binawasan nila yung lanes for cars at in-increase yung lanes for pedestrians and cyclists, it was a short-term chaos pero long-term good for the people. Naging less car-centric yung mga locations where they've done that. plant more freaking trees. Those posts should not be in the middle of the sidewalk. That's the number one thing I would like to address here. Tama lang. Like, we're given this. We want more. Sige na. G. We deserve more. Okay, this one is the... Before we go here. Di pa rin to tapos. How long is the deep research going to be? Super tagal siguro nito, no? That's crazy that you could actually make ChatGPT do, make Gemini do super deep research. My God. 24 hours? I think we should just, we should, what? Refresh it? Okay, hold on. Oh, here you go. There you go. Okay na pala eh. Open. Kanina pa pala natapos. 30 minutes ago pa siya natapos. Ain't got no time for this, chat. What's the summary? May abstract ba to? Come on, man. What is the 5-bullet point summary of your analysis? Yeah, there you go. Summarize. No, di ko pa nababasa, Romeo. But anyway, chat, have you seen this? Animal Kingdom Foundation calls out Malabon Church. I've opened some photos already of it, but among them is this one. So if you look closely, if you look over here, you see a dove. And I think the idea here is that it's meant to be a symbolic moment for Easter. There you go. Supposed to symbolize hope and resurrections. Hope and resurrection, yet forced, restrained, and unable to fly. A video of a dove used for salubong ceremony last Easter Sunday caught the attention of many animal welfare advocates. The bird appears to have its wings stretched and cable tied on a rod to maintain the appearance of flight throughout the ceremony. Well, throughout the ceremony. Oh my God. While the intention of the tradition is meaningful, this method may have caused discomfort to the animal. We hope future celebrations can reflect not only faith, but also compassion for all, even to the most voiceless of God's creations. Animal Kingdom Foundation has reached out to the diocese involved and is currently awaiting their response. So I have the photos over here. Alive yung ibon. And this is from the Animal Kingdom Foundation mismo. So if you look closely, this is what the bird looks like. The wings are literally clipped to a rod. Another look of the bird. And then, what is this, bro? Bakit may hooks na nakatali? May hooks na nakatali sa paa ng bird. So, in short, crucify nila yung bird, no? I mean, like, I'm not supposed to laugh, but it's literally a crucified bird. How ironic. If you really think about it, they crucified a bird. Now, sure, dapat symbolic to. Resurrection, renewed life. But I can't help but think, one, sino yung nag-isip nito? Bakit niya naisip na good idea to? And two, sino yung nag-approve nito? Hindi ko maisip in what world this will be okay. Like, I just don't understand. How can something like this make sense? And yes, mukha ngang it's to reveal. There you go. It's meant to reveal, right? It's meant to reveal. It's meant to remove the black veil. But at the same time, it's going to be removing it by way of by way of the crucified bird na nakatali sa balloon? Yun ba yun? Yung bird nakatali sa balloon? No. I mean, this looks untrue already at this point, but it's from Pause. No, it's real, chat. It's real. Look at this. May balloons talaga na nakatali sa ibon, na yung ibon naka-crucify. Those responsible for this have to say something about it. Because look at this. This doesn't even make sense. Ano yung point nito? Na yung ibon na naka-crucify, by the way, look at that. Pinned using zip ties. Tas nakatali yung rod. Tas yung tali nakasabit sa balloon. There's so many problems with this. Even the balloons themselves are problematic. Kung totoo ngang nakasabit siya sa balloon. I get it, chat. We're talking about the bird, right? Like generally, birds are unlike mammals where they have a different, I don't know, maybe importance pagdating sa life. Like there are levels to it, right? I don't know what I'm saying, but still, this is dumb. It's not a small animal. We're not talking about ants or insects. We're talking about a bird. Hindi ko gets. With deep respect for sacred traditions, we wish to bring to public. I'll read this one for you. This one is from the Animal Kingdom Foundation. With deep respect for sacred traditions of the church, we wish to bring to public attention a matter that has raised concerns regarding animal welfare during an Easter Mass celebration on April 5, 2026. Based on video materials that were submitted to our office and are publicly accessible, including those posted on Facebook page of the Diocesan Shrine and Parish of the Immaculate Conception Malabon, a live dove appeared to have been restrained and displayed in a suspended position, with its wings extended in a manner suggesting they were affixed to an object to simulate flight. We fully acknowledge and respect the symbolic significance of the dove within religious practice. By the way, W letter. However, we respect emphasis that symbolism should never come at the expense of the welfare and humane treatment of living creatures. Bro. This is dumb as hell, right? Do we have video of this? Because when I tried looking at it for TikTok, chat, when I searched Dove Malabon, hold on. When I checked Dove Malabon, puro kilikili lang yung nakita ko dito. I don't understand. Dove Malabon, sabay. Ano pa ba? Dove Malabon Church? Dove Malabon Salubong. Here. What the fuck is going on, bro? What? And nobody cared to say anything about this? Not the priests on the stage? Like, oh my god. Like, aren't they, look at her though. Sobrang, huh? What is this just happening? Chat, just think about it. Like, isn't this literally the most popular image of Jesus? Yung naka-crucify siya. And how being crucified on the cross is so symbolic of suffering and needless. It's so symbolic of the needless pain we caused Jesus when Jesus had good intentions for us. So crucifying is very deeply meaningful in Christian ideology. And yet we're doing the same thing to a bird. The mere fact that, you know, Jesus is crucified and is in a lot of pain, hindi ba naisip to na mga gumawa nito that the bird could also be suffering? Could, right? Yun yung word natin, because we don't know if birds feel pain the same way humans do. But point is, sobrang tanga nito. Sobrang tanga nito.
I have.
Happy Easter. God is risen.
Oh no, wait, they've been doing this? Oh shit, this is 2022. This is 2022. And what do they expect? Wait, what do they expect once pumutok na yung mga balloons? Once the balloons pop or once the balloon keep on going up, are they expecting the bird to just fly with the balloons? Teka lang, ano nangyayari dito? So incapacitated yung yung birds, yung bird dahil hindi siya makagalaw. So forever lang siyang mabibit-bit ng balloon? And this is a video from 2022. Look at that. Ito 2025. 2025. Matandang tradisyon sa bayan ng Malabon. And look at how the birds are being made to fly downwards. What the fuck is that smoke? Yeah! So, they've been doing this since at least 2022 on TikTok. And nobody, ngayon lang natin ito nakita. Yo. Look at this, chat. Like, look at this. This time it gets... What the fuck? 2025. Chat, they must have been smoking something on 420 in 2025 for them to do this. I'm telling you right now, that smoke is very accurate for the date of this video, because nobody sober will ever think of this idea. And of course, the bird is forced to bear the weight of the veil as well as the hooks attached to its legs. The question, may sumasalo ba ever nung black na cloth? Because it technically flies everywhere, right? Bro, ang inhumane nung natin, nung pagtrato natin sa ibon. I get it, it's a bird. But the fact that we do this every year, ito 2024 naman, matandang tradisyon. Reyna ng langit, magpanalangin mo. Bro, this is sickening, yo. Ito. 2026. Paulit-ulit po ito baba mo, parang parang pabitin, no? Parang pabitin lang. Para hanggang sa makuha niya yung veil. Ayun, no, binabagsak. Kunin mo, kunin mo. Isa pa, kunin mo. Yan, kunin mo, kunin mo. Yan, nakuha na ata. Kunin mo, kunin mo. Kulang pa. Yan. Yan. Mama Mary is not gonna be happy. That's all I could think of right now. Mama Mary is disappointed. Wow. This is dumb as shit. I can't believe ngayon lang natin ito napansin. What goes in their mind habang ginagawa nila to sa ibon? Ibon lang yan. Ano naman? Askal lang yan. Ano naman? Puskal lang yan. Madami yan. Ganyan mag-isip karamihan sa Pilipinas unless may celebrity na mag-viral na nag-aalaga ng ganyan, saka lang magkakarespeto mga tao sa hayop. Tangina talaga ng Pilipinas. Those priests and the church people involved, they approve this. Yeah, I know, man. Ang weird nito. Like, it goes against a lot of the things that the church teaches us in terms of caring for God's creation. There you go. So much for being stewards of God's creation, right? The hell, bro? Akala ko pa naman, one and done lang to. Itong year lang ginawa. But it seems like it's, since 2022, oldest TikTok video that we can find. I genuinely hope that those who are behind this are finally held accountable, because it looks inhumane. It really is. It's really not being. It's unbecoming, right? Of becoming stewards of God's creation. Okay. Finally, we can put this to rest. Yung issue ni natin earlier with Falsis seeming to have leading questions. Okay, before we move on pala, sorry. Chat. Okay, so Romeo here. I'm just catching up with chat. Sabi ni Romeo, pwedeng makulong. Animal surviving, animal getting injured. Who the effing F thought, how do we celebrate Easter? Alright, let's do animal abuse. If yan ginawa, alam ng pare. Big brain no? Got it, Alex. Ang syunga naman, sabi ni Tayin. That's true. We have traditions that are very outdated. Yel here, very... Apansin ko si Yel as somebody who works in social work. Somebody who works... As a social worker, I think Yel here is very much on the dot when it comes to outdated rules and traditions. Yeah, weird na alam lang ng diocese, no? Yep. Ostentatious symbolism. I like those words. Okay, so Mock asks, sa ibang locations, bata yung kumukuha ng veil. Na naka-harness yung bata. What is chat's take on that? I think that's a big risk, right? Hindi ba liability yun? What? Bata naman sa iba? And then yung bata nakatali rin sa balloon. I think it's also not good. Like, it's equally inhumane. I think it's too much. I think we have to make do without it moving forward. Parang ang unnecessary. It's extra. It's It's outdated. And that's a big risk for the kids. Sobrang unnecessary. Mas grabe ito compared sa viral video where they used AI to say prayers. And na naman si Yel. Matitrigger na naman si Yel. Kapag bata yung minanipulate pero may parental consent. Yeah, it's not right, man. Like what would Jesus do, right? That's always the borderline funny but also correct answer to everything when it comes to religious practices. What would Jesus do? I don't think Jesus will risk kids just to celebrate Easter. You know, I don't think Jesus will be like, okay, you know what? Chat, use the birds. I don't think Jesus will say that. Right? Like Jesus has taught us to be loving and caring, and di natin kailangan maging extra. Why? What would Jesus do? Okay, let's put an end to this one. So for those who missed it, chat, nanood kami ng podcast where Attorney Falsis and Vico Barzaga were both on screen. They had a heated argument, and it seems as though with the way Attorney Falsis is questioning Kiko, hindi makasagot si Kiko. Sabi ni Attorney Falsis, malinis ka ba? Yes or no? Simple lang. Kumuha ka ba ever ng pera? Yes or no? Simpleng tanong. And then Kiko is not able to give a straight answer, making it give the impression na hindi malinis na tao. Pagdating sa politics, si Kiko. However, somebody in chat pointed out that this could be leading questions. Again, I understand that leading questions which are objectionable in the court or in a courtroom might not necessarily be applicable here in a podcast. But at the same time, yung style of questioning ni Falsis seems to be held to a higher standard as well because he is somebody who is very knowledgeable. So we asked with the help of Gemini 3, kala mo ad ng Gemini eh. With the help of Gemini, we asked it to analyze the situation kung leading questions ba yung mga tinanong ni Falsis. Okay? The 5 bullet point summary of the legal analysis regarding the questioning tactics used in the debate. It is a leading question. Tactics like summarizing an opponent's point with, so you mean to say, or demanding a strict or yes or no answer are legally classified as leading questions because they suggest the specific answer the interrogator desires. Leading is allowed against opponents. Under the Philippine rules of court, while you cannot ask leading questions to a friendly witness, they are explicitly permitted and encouraged during cross-examination. Debates functions as cross-examinations because political debaters are adverse parties who are naturally hostile to each other. Deploying leading questions is a procedurally correct and standard legal tactic to trap an opponent and test their logic. The misleading boundary: if an interrogator uses the "so you mean to say" construct to assume false facts or distort what the opponent actually said, it crosses the line into a misleading question, which is prohibited under Philippine law. Argumentative boundary: if the demand for a binary yes or no answer is used primarily to badger the opponent, argue a conclusion, or debate an interference rather than to establish a new fact, it becomes an objectionable argumentative question. There you go. I think this one is good. Ito yung bago kong natutunan ngayon. It was badgering the Kiko. Simple lang, yes or no. Sagutin mo, yes or no. Ako, pag tinanong ako, yes or no, sasagutin ko, yes, malinis ako. So ano ba talaga? Yes or no? It was badgering Kiko at that moment, arguing for a conclusion or a debate. It's not exactly going to establish new facts or allow the conversation to proceed. With a yes or no answer, tapos na ang usapan. Mommy Keiko, welcome to the stream. So that's that when it comes to it. Now, Am I on the side of any of the characters today? Well, just to be clear, ano ba yung conflict of interest? I do read a lot of Attorney Falsis's content. Pag nagpo-post siya, the screenshots that go around. So, I do indulge in his content. Pagdating naman kay Kiko, I don't know too much other than headline news. So, just to be clear, yun yung mga biases ko. But at the same time, with the way I approach this, it's as though I am not exactly for Attorney Falsis pagdating sa line of questioning niya kay Kiko. Yeah. So yeah, I guess that's the end of that, right? Any arguments against this, chat? It happened in a podcast though, not a courtroom. Does your analysis make this any less? Does this situation of being in an informal setting make your analysis any less correct? Yeah, meron. Wait, Gasolina short film? Wala pa, Gerard. Saan may kita to? Oh, chat, W's! W's in the chat from Mommy Keiko, keeping our members well above 100 at this point. So, ayun lang, I guess. It's very interesting to say the least kung ano yung nangyari dito. Here you go. So, tinanong natin si Gemini. It happened in a podcast, not the courtroom. Does the situation of being in an informal setting make your analysis any less correct? Hi, Manang. No, the informal setting does not make the analysis incorrect, though it changes how the rules are legally enforced. While the setting is informal, lawyers participating in public debates or podcasts do not leave their ethical obligations at the door. They are still bound by the Code of Professional Responsibility and Accountability. CPRA requires lawyers to maintain the dignity of the legal profession and explicitly prohibits the use of abusive, intemperate, or offensive language across all forms of mass or social media. Therefore, while a lawyer can freely use the cross-examination tactic of leading questions in a podcast debate, they remain professionally accountable to the Supreme Court if their aggressive questioning crosses the line into prohibited and harassing or scandalous behavior. Yeah. There you go. So, yeah. So, that's like what I said. He should have been held to a higher standard kasi lawyer siya. And I think generally, when we want to learn more about something, we try to ask as many questions. And I think nasagad na natin siya for today. Leading questions. Could he have asked other questions, or could have Kiko answered better? I don't know. I don't know enough about how to question and answer properly or debate on a topic. But as far as us asking Gemini for help and us learning more about leading questions, it does seem like the execution of that dialogue or that heated moment could have been done better. Okay, another thread here that I found interesting. I think some of us are going to be able to relate here. Sabi ni Edu, I don't know if totoo to or another one of Edu's Edu Manzano fake memes. All Filipinos should travel outside the Philippines so that you will know that we deserve better. While it's not necessary that we have to travel outside for us to know that we deserve better, I very much think that one of the easiest ways to learn this is to actually really travel outside of the country. And we don't have to go far, right? We don't have to look too far. Kahit ASEAN neighbors lang natin. Vietnam, we can even go to kahit neighbors lang natin. Anywhere from Taiwan to Korea to even our closer ASEAN neighbors like Malaysia, Indonesia, to even somebody who we consider to be our peer at one point in time pagdating sa economic activity, Vietnam. And then of course, there's the super prestigious, super idealistic, super aspirational Singapore. Malayo-layo pa tayo doon. But point is, lumayo ka lang ng onte sa bansa natin, makikita natin, mabilis nating makikita kung gaano talaga tayo naghahabol sa mga bansang malapit lang sa atin. A lot of our ASEAN neighbors have been colonized. A lot of our ASEAN neighbors have gone through their fair share of trouble, dictatorship. They've been through their fair share of poverty. And yet we're here still, while everybody else has leaped already and passed us. Yeah, that's true naman. Like I mentioned earlier, we don't have to travel to realize this. Tama. Common sense lang. Alam naman natin kung paano talaga tayo tinatrato eh. That's why I said the easiest way to learn is to actually see it with our eyes. Easiest way to learn. Like we skip the entire process of dissecting anything. Just the fact na paglapag mo pa lang sa airport ng ibang bansa, ramdam mo na eh. Di ba? I mean, okay, you know what, chat? Let's take it super local. Because these days, aren't we very proud of Pasig? Hindi naman kailangan lumayo, di ba? Hindi punta na tayo ng Pasig. Ayaw natin lumabas ng bansa. Punta tayo ng Pasig. Yeah. Agree. Kasi kung masyado tayong zoned in sa bansa natin, I think it's just going to be a long life of never really realizing what could be better for us. That's not to say walang corruption sa ibang bansa, by the way. I want to make it clear. ASEAN countries are pretty much notorious for corruption, except Singapore. But my point here is that we are falling way behind. Nauhuli na talaga tayo. Okay? Look at that. Popular. It will never not be popular pagdating sa Reddit. Walang pang travel. Oh, yun, di ba? Wala pang travel. Vietnam mas mura pa sa Pinas ang cost of everything, so airfare na lang talaga ang labanan. Perfect wake-up call din yun sa lost potential ng Pinas kasi similar background and yet malayo na sa atin ngayon. That's what I was gonna say. That's what I was saying. Vietnam is our peer for a very long time. Kapag kino-compare yung standing ng Pilipinas sa Southeast Asia, Vietnam yung closest comparison natin. Malaysia, Indonesia, other countries, they've been they're not exactly a good comparison, but Vietnam with their population size, if I'm not mistaken, at one point, the situation that they've been in, Very close spear dapat natin yan eh. Yep, I feel like it. Na Stockholm Syndrome tayo. Na in love tayo masyado sa mga politicians natin who are themselves corrupting us. Oh, speaking of, Vico Soto highlights transparency once again by giving a walkthrough tour of the newly inaugurated health facility in Pasig. Yeah, I mean, I wanted to add that as well. Thank you for saying that, JR, na kasama ang Singapore. The corruption is everywhere, or imperfections of a country are in all countries. I don't think any country is perfect. But, yun na nga. Just seeing what life could be like really helps in understanding the current situation that we're in. Yeah. Okay. What is this?
Video niya kabagong health center. Sa wakas, nakapag-record din ng video niya kabagong health center sa barangay San Jose. Tara, pasok tayo. Nasa 8.7 million lang yung gawa nito dahil hindi bago yung struktura mismo. Although kapag tiningnan mo, halos lahat ay bago. Kasama dun sa 8.7 million, yung major renovation, pati na rin yung mga aircon, CCTV. Ang backstory nito, ang building, mga 2013 pinatayo, halos hindi siya nagamit. Hindi na siguro natin malalaman yung buong kwento nito. Basta second, papuntang third term ni Kong Roman. Noong 2013 pa, pinagawa yung building. Ang sabi, may mga equipment na galing DOH, pero hindi natuloy. So, nagamit lang siya bilang storage, temporary office. Ngayon, gagamitin na siya bilang health center. In-upgrade na yung building.
Not bad. 8.7 million for all of this.
Iba na rin yung DOH standards from 10 years ago. Yung floor area nito ay nasa 380 square meters. Bonus, may konti pang open space sa labas. Tapos sinama na sa proyekto yung minor improvements sa development center o daycare sa tabi. Okay, yun lang po.
Yeah. Chad, they know exactly what they're doing. Okay, at this point, this is not to bash the mayor. This is not to diminish his credibility. But every single thing we're seeing, yung webcam niya, yung cellphone niya na I think the cellphone story is true though. Yeah. The cellphone story is true. Meron akong friend who works very closely with Mayor Vico. I'm not gonna dox him. Pero sinabi niya na yung weird-ass phone camera ni Vico is real. Na takang-taka siya bakit yun yung phone talaga ni Vico. And he doesn't understand why he just doesn't, get the proper phone. But other than that, I feel like all of these are intentional. It's not to make Mayor Vico Soto look like he rice cake ang kinakain niya for dinner, for his birthday, imbis na lechon, or it's not to make Vico look like he's very simple lang si Mayor. I don't think it's any of that. I think it's just a great way to communicate sa voter base niya. Very good execution ng mga videos, the way he markets the way his team markets him. And what's cool about it is that it's very true to his nature. Whether Vico as an individual is quirky or naturally introverted or hindi talaga siya sanay maging bongga pagdating sa executions, I think the way his videos are produced and edited showcases those parts of him that people can relate to. Kaya ang galing, di ba? I mean, again, the phone thing is hilarious, chat. Yeah, function over form si Vigo is if there's one thing about him. Baka soon. Baka soon sama na ako sa inyo, Mok. Yeah, maayos. Maayos si Vico talaga. Yeah, I know other stories about him also from a dude that are just hilarious. It's the stories that I hear about Vigo, whether true or not, are nothing crazy. They're just I totally expect that from Vico type of deal na story. This guy is real. This guy, that's why nung kinkwento sa akin ng friend ko yun, mas narespeto ko lang talaga si Vico. Like, this guy, I don't think is pretending to be anything. He just wants to do his job, man. And he happens to be good at being a mayor. Sana all na lang, no, time, tulad ng sinabi ni Yel. I-multiply na lang natin sa number of provinces na meron tayo. The reverse Midas touch. So, if you're familiar with the Midas touch, Midas is this character. I don't know kung fable siya or some myth. Or I don't know kung ano yung nature nung fictional story na yun. Pero si Midas is this person na kung ano man yung galawin niya, magiging gold. Now, in business, there is what you call the reverse Midas touch, where if you touch something, it turns out to be the complete opposite. Greek myth. Okay. Greek myth. Okay. It turns into the complete opposite. Instead of it being valuable, it goes to zero. It becomes ugly. It dies. It loses its value completely. And the rumor is that Jollibee has the reverse Midas touch. Na kung ano man ang business na hawakan ng Jollibee, it doesn't exactly go well for them. Naniniwala ba kayo sa reverse Midas touch ng JFC? Apparent ba sa inyo yung pagbaba ng mga food quality and brand identity ng mga restaurant chains acquired by JFC? Nah, Joe, what do you mean no cap, this is you? What do you mean by no cap, this is you? Saan? Ayoko magpa-auto, Joel. Nakaka-miss yung classic Chowking in Greenwich. Very unique taste sila previously, pero ngayon parang closer na sila taste-wise sa Jollibee. Saan ka nga dito? Ito, ikaw to, si Jollibee. Pansin din yung pag-iba ng ingredients, cheaper options kagaya ng lasagna ng Greenwich and crispy wonton ng Chowking na nakakasugat ng alangala. Di ko lang din sure kung same treatment for Mang Inasal and Red Ribbon, pero wala pa akong na-observe. Ano experience nyo? Putang ina ng JFC wishing... Oh, wag naman. Hudas touch ang tawag dyan. Red Ribbon before, masarap daw yung Salisbury steak. Mierdas touch. Pangit din quality ng Inasal at Red Ribbon. I personally don't have a take here. I enjoy Jollibee. I enjoy Burger King. And I don't eat at Chowking often enough to know how Chowking has been like over the years, other than the halo-halo that I enjoy from them. Mang Inasal has always been Mang Inasal to me. Coffee Bean though, I would say I don't know if it has anything to do na bumaba yung quality ng Coffee Bean ever since in-acquire ng Jollibee, or hindi ko lang din talaga nakikita yung sarili ko ordering from Coffee Bean these days. But this has been an ongoing thing or discussion online na Jollibee seems to have this bad luck when it comes to acquiring different businesses. May mga kasama ako sa gym ngayon na nag-ask ng alternate. Disrespectful sa akin. Tama ba ma-feel yun? More context, brother. Ano ibig mo sabihin? Ano ibig mo sabihin? I used to like Coffee Bean actually. But yun na nga I can't tell if I just ended up going to Coffee Bean less frequently or it's because subconsciously pangit na, hindi na siya masarap kaya naging less na yung pagpunta ko doon. Okay, so TJ here can attest. Red Ribbon, Mang Inasal, way better before. Most branches, olats na. Depende raw sa branch. Sunudan, gumamit ng equipment. Kung ayaw mo makipag-alternate, sabihin mo ayaw mo. Ganun lang kadali yun. If willing ka, then go. I think for as long as hindi ka naman nakababad masyado sa equipment, okay lang. And nagtatanong lang naman din yung tao kung gusto niya makipag-alternate sa'yo sa equipment eh. Other people are fine with it. Other people aren't. So it's okay. If you feel offended by it, I'm not sure why naging offended ka dun. Baka sa pagtanong niya. But at the same time, if ayaw mo, just say, tatapusin mo na lang yung mga sets mo. And sabihin mo na lang din, dagdag mo na lang na magmamadali ka kahit hindi ka naman nagmamadali. Pero kung sabihin mo yon, siya pa yung mahihiya. Sabihin niya, hindi, huwag ka na magmadali. Gaganon yan. It's okay. Oh, don't be intimidated. Ayan, pwede. Sinasabi ni Yel, patapos na rin ako. Tapos mga 10 sets pa, no, Yel? Ever since tinuro nyo sa akin, I don't like you for this, chat. This one I don't like you for. Ever since, yo, Tristan, brother, where's your badge, bro? Where is the Benifam badge beside your name? Black Badger ka na sana by now. But anyway, Tristan, welcome to the stream. Ever since sinabi nyo sa akin na may ick kayo kapag nakikipag-alternate sa machine dahil sa pawis at dahil pinaghirapan nyo ng punasan yung chair or yung bench or yung apparatus ng machine, nahiya na ako makipag-alternate sa ibang tao. What if sabay na lang tayo? Tapos bench press no? So ever since you told me that, man, I've stopped asking people to alternate with me. I'm happy to see you now though, Tristan. Bro, been a long time. No. I feel kasi gusto niya gumamit ka agad. Nauna ka, 53. I mean, wala na. Nangyari na yung nangyari, di ba? No. Don't feel defeated. Like, take this as a learning lesson. I get why it could feel like you're defeated because tingin mo, you should have stood up for yourself. Tingin mo na dapat you stood your ground. But hey, it seems like it just wasn't your moment that time. At least next time, alam mo. Pag tinanong ka ng alternate, di mo pa nagagamit yung machine at gusto mo pang tumambay for a little bit more, say it proudly. Gagamitin ko to hanggang bukas. Mag-intay ka lang dyan. Yan. 153, don't feel too bad. You're in the gym, bro. It's time to grind. Time to grind. Leave the ego out the door. Lock in. Okay, lock in. Oh, you're into interior designing? Chad, by the way, si Tristan, may manok siya dati. May manok si Tristan dati na ang pangalan ng manok niya ay Sansinubukan. Universe. Universe in Tagalog. Sansinukub. Sansinukubakan. Sansinukub. Basta yung pangalan ng manok niya dati, Sansi. Dahil ang full name ng manok niya, Sansinukob. Yon. Yeah. Kasi alala ko yung kwento ni Tristan eh. Kasi para sa kanya, his chicken is his universe. Means everything to him. That's a cool name for a chicken, by the way. Sansi. Welcome back, Tristan. Okay, last few Reddit threads, chat. Kanal humor na to wrap things up. I hate pieces of shit like this na nagko-commute. Watch this one, chat. I'm so aggravated by women having to go through this and feeling like it's so easy to say na ano lang call out mo lang or i-shrug mo lang para matauhan or what, right? Para maiwasan to, because the longer it happens, the more traumatizing it can be. But I think one thing that, you know, as a guy, that many guys also fail to understand is when these things happen in real life, and it can happen to you, by the way, even if you're a guy, this can happen to you. When you're in the moment and when it's happening to you, it's a lot harder to move. And a lot of times, freezing is also a default reaction that a lot of women, I wish, didn't have to go through. So I feel like the video being posted online, this guy being doxxed, justified as hell. Like, I hope sumikat to. Like, he's already famous. With 72 likes, feeling ko may mga 1 million views na to. 72 likes. We can go here. Lovely Diane. Tama ba? Lovely Diane. Yep, siya to. 16 million views, baby. Sana sumikat talaga to. The guy in the video has already been reported to the police. Like that shit. Diba? Si kuya mong nagvi-video. But anyway, diba? Fuck this guy, man. Fuck this guy. Look at that. Look at that. Deserve talaga. I hope he gets removed from his job. I hope may pamilya to. Now, I don't hope na may pamilya siya, because that would mean nagsasuffer yung family niya with a guy like this in the house. But I hope yung parents niya, yung mga kapatid niya, will be so ashamed of him. Like, I don't care, man. I know, what would Jesus do, right? I think at this moment, Jesus will be disappointed. To go through this shit. May bago ng manok? Maria Teresa yung pangalan? Anong palayaw? What the fuck? Ano sinabi? Ano yung binulong? Ano yung binulong? I've read so many accounts of this chat on different subreddits. Personal accounts from girls writing up mga messages posts on Reddit. Yung naglalabas lang ng sama ng loob or gusto lang mag-share. And I don't think I can ever fully realize how yung mga feelings sinasabi nila after situations like this. Like, sure, nag-video or nag-freeze in that moment. Pero yung feelings ba that are just caged within, the anger, the grief, the sadness in oneself for being treated in a way na hindi naman nila deserve ma-treat, na hindi nila ma-express in that moment. Sobrang nakaka-traumatize yung ganun. And when the world needed her the most, she vanished. I think I remember watching this. Diba? Ba't nilabas mo titi mo? Oh my God, yeah. Sobrang laugh trip nito. I mean, like, it's not supposed to be funny, but because it's been memed, features pa lang alam mong nagsawa na sa puno ng saging. Remember, we had an entire moment the other day talking about puno ng saging. Oh my God. Okay, last few chat. Takting Grahams to. Kulang na lang titulo. I laughed because of the caption. Sobrang well-written nung caption. Mango Grahams kayo dyan. Yeah, I wish nothing like that ever happens to women, men, ever. Mga ganyan, mga manyak, sarap talagang. Ugh. Like, what gives them the right, man? What gives them the right to do that? Mango Grahams with clean title. Inquire now. Oh my God! Target locked! The Cynthia memes never get old. Ang bilis nung reply na to, ah. That's actually funny. Upvote. Bukas may cake topper na yan ng Camela. Titulo ba kamo? I mean, it never gets old. What's that Cynthia meme? Magkano to meme? This one, right? This meme never gets old. No, that's not the meme. That's not the meme. Magkano to? It's this one. Ito ba yun? Talaga? Sige, bilhin ko na lahat. Yung mangga? Hindi, yung lupa. Classic. Our billionaires, huh? Okay, then last one. I think we can end with something super chill. From Casual PH, took some pics of our province life nung umuwi kami from Holy Week. I can't help but think this looks very peaceful. Hi, Ate Tess. Looks very peaceful and quiet. Parang ito yung environment na pag nag-i-inhale ka, ang sarap mag-inhale. Pero wag ka mag-inhale ng todo-todo. Kasi dito rin marami sa province. Ano ang amoy ng province? Fresh air at siga. It's either you can have either, right? At least yung pagsisiga occasional lang. 99% of the time fresh air. Hell yeah. Or tae ng kalabaw. Yun din yung amoy. Tatlo lang ang amoy sa probinsya. Really good fresh air. Amoy ng pagsisiga at amoy tae ng kalabaw. Kapag sumama sa hangin, di ba? Yeah. Malamig na hangin, siga, at tae ng kalabaw. Facts. Oh, man. Super simple. Yeah, yung kuliglig, no? Bihira na lang yun. Though I remember growing up in Manila na may naririnig pa akong kuliglig. May time siguro pag nasa sa park. Yun na lang siguro, no? Okay, chat. We can end the stream here. Little short, just over 2 hours, but I really do want to restart our stream. We've been streaming at 9:30. Okay, chat. We gotta stream earlier. I think we got to begin streaming. Ang napapansin ko though, the later we stream, the more of you guys are over here. I don't know if that's a good thing because that also means our streams end at 1 a.m. So, I will try my best to stream earlier tomorrow. Hopefully, it's not too early for some of you because, again, the later I stream, the more of us end up being in the stream. I will stream earlier tomorrow but I will take it slow. 8:30. Okay? 8:30 tayo bukas. Not 9:30, chat. I think I'm also being incentivized to stream later because more of us end up hanging out in the stream. But it also messes with a lot of things that are supposed to happen on time. Yun na nga eh. Sabi ni Yel, this favor schedules me. Okay, so 8:30. Adjust lang tayo ng 1 hour. If you're a little late, dapat di... JR, that's what the data says. That's what the data says, JR. Na 9:30 onwards, dun pinakamarami sa stream. And yun talaga yung pinaka napapansin ko. Tama si Thine. Normally, what ends up happening to our streams, we become white noise. Diba? And I like that. I'm cool with that. I'm happy that we're all here together at this time. Oh no, Mock with the call out. 8:30. 8:30 tomorrow, chat. Be here. For now, this is where the stream ends. Huge shout out to Mommy Keiko and Barnes for our 10 gifted. And that's about it, chat. I will see you. I'll see you tomorrow. Ingat. Have a great evening and go get some sleep. Thank you, Benny Fam. No! 8:30 tomorrow with steak rice. If I'm late, manilibre ako ng steak rice. 1 meal only. Okay? Bye-bye!